barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. Hey, real quick, DMV, DC area, 7 a.m. the Lincoln Memorial Steps, 7 a.m. And then we'll hop on over to the Florida Grill. I'll pay for half the breakfast, no matter how many people show up. So come on out, we'll hang out, we'll fellowship, we'll work out, we'll get in shape, and we'll break bread together. I'm looking forward to meeting y'all. So let's talk about this. Thank you to all the subscribers that sent me this thing today by the LA Times. The DAZN is raising their prices. Dude, how many times I gotta say I told you so? How many times do I gotta say I told you so? If I am not one of the leaders on YouTube as it relates to business and just common sense business as it relates to business of boxing, I don't know where else to go. I told you this day was gonna come. I told you this day was gonna come. They cannot sustain themselves. They are raising their prices, validates that they are in the red and they're trying to get in the black. And here's the catch. And in property, we call it over leveraging yourself. When you pull the equity out and you buy more properties than your cash flow and or your credits will allow you, and now you're dancing around, you got 10 credit cards moving from one money pot to the next money pot, accumulating interest. Well, I'm not mad at them for it, but I'm just letting you guys know, I told you guys this day was coming. They doubled their prices on you. Doubled their prices on you. Now, you and your best friend are paying $19 a month, right? That's $40 a month. Now, for real. What's cheaper? A pay-per-view event or subscribing to for $20 a month big fights, which you're not going to watch by yourself, and everyone in the room is a subscriber of DAZN and you're watching the fight? I'm talking about pragmatically. No one's going to watch a big fight by themselves, right? Now, unless you're totally a recluse, right? You're going to watch it with 5 or 10 people. But if 5 or 10 of you guys have the subscription and you're only getting together for 2 or 3 fights a year, who's winning? You know? And I told you guys, see, they study my videos. They study because I told you guys this, and they need to get a subscription base where it's auto pay. So people are going to be paying $99 for the year. And they're going to say, for less than $10 a month, you can get the DAZN for an entire year. Who can afford $99 for one payment? You get what I'm saying? And if you pay $99 one time, you're basically paying for a pay-per-view. Because you really don't want to see them cards. I mean, for real. We just watch it because we're addicted to boxing. We don't really want to see those C-level fighters fight each other. You know, we want to see the best fighting the best, right? And go subscribe to Best Fighting the Best. That motherfucker was epic last night. Him and LVZ on Smoke City Mobcast last night. My gosh, my LVZ, I hope to see you. I'll be in DC Saturday. Man. Anyways, man, I told you this day was coming. I told you they're not going bankrupt. I don't doubt. I hope they don't go bankrupt, for real. And I say this for real. I want them to be successful. But I told you their business model was flawed. They shouldn't have I'm going to tell you what, it's too late, so I can tell you guys what they should have did. And I've made mention of this video a long time ago. The key component, what they should have did, they shouldn't have launched till 2019. They should have subcontracted Lou DiBella, subcontracted Tom Brown, subcontracted all these promoters that got access to these venues and these locations and built the bridge. No, John Skipper, who claims he's a $1 million man, billion-dollar man, didn't truly understand the market. He thought money is greater than integrity. He thought money was greater than loyalty. He thought money was greater than common sense. It was not. He and Eddie Hearn had a flawed business plan, right? They thought they could just throw money at these young athletes and they would just come over. These athletes are thinking far beyond today. They're thinking far beyond tomorrow. They're thinking, for the most part, many of them are thinking beyond the grave, you know? And they failed. And now they have to raise their prices on their subscribers that bought for $9.99. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. If I buy something for $2 and it goes up to $4, you know how mad I can be. I know we all can afford $4. I know we all, but it doubled in price. That's a 100% increase you got to pay. You know. So I said this to say this. DAZN, you got to dig yourself out of this hole. I hope you do. I don't want DAZN to go anywhere because they're employing people. People have jobs for DAZN. I don't want DAZN to fail, but I need them to understand. I need them to respect what's been laid out before them, and they're humbling themselves. They haven't signed a marquee black fighter yet. They've gone around and signed all these HBO fighters. You know, Daniel Jacobs is not a culture mover. We have about 2 or 3 culture movers right here in boxing today. We have Earl Spence, Tank Davis, the Charlo brothers, and Deontay Wilder. Off the top of my head, those 5 move the meter a certain bit. Some move it obviously greater than others, but those are the 5. And Adrian Broner, 6, that can move the culture. And so what they should have did, not me per se, but hired a guy like me who has a great deal of common sense, who understands the culture, who can go to the strip club with these fighters, throw $500, leave, and then wake up in the morning and go to the corner office in the high rise. They failed at that. They hired Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn can't go to the strip club with Jamel Charlo. Eddie Hearn can't go to Alabama with Deontay Wilder. I can. Let me repeat. I can. One of the biggest genius moves that Al Heyman ever made was hiring the Watson brothers. Right? They're the fighters' contemporaries. When the fighters say, what you want to do tonight, Brandon and Marcus can go through their phone and say, hey, I got 5 options. You want to go to this club? You want to go to this dinner? I know the owner. It'll be all on them. They'll take care of the bill. Y'all don't have that at DAZN. You got 8 white men trying to convince a talent pool full of black men. It doesn't work that way. All right? It doesn't work that way. And I'm just telling you, not from a racist perspective, but from a reality perspective. Y'all don't get it. Y'all gonna learn today. Oh man, they went up to $20. Now people are gonna keep it next month. You know, but they're gonna have to come up with a new plan. You need to hire a guy. I don't want to be hired by DAZN. You guys know I don't want. I'll do some consulting. You can pay me 6 figures for some consulting. You can do all that. But in terms of being hired, nobody can hire this talent. Nah, I'm too independent at this point, you know. So not unless it's big money, you know what I mean. And I have stock options and ownership, and I can say and do whatever the fuck I want. That's it. Because I don't need no stereo. I got YouTube. In 2 years, I'm gonna have 100,000 subs. By the end of the year, I'm gonna have 50,000 subs. That's plenty. That's all I need is 50. All I need is 25,000 subs for boxing, and every video I do will reach people. The person I need. If I do a video on Anthony Joshua, it's gonna get to him. Somebody's gonna retweet it. Somebody's gonna send it to his DM. His friend is gonna watch it and say, "Fuck that motherfucker barbershop. He always talking shit," or maybe positive. But it's a guarantee it's gonna get to him. Guarantee. It ain't no shoulda, coulda, woulda. It's a guarantee. And I stand firm on that. So John Skipper, Eddie Hearn, you made 2 great hires. I'm gonna tell you the 2 greatest hires you made. Signing Ak and Barak. Don't you know if you didn't have Ak and Barak, you know how flat and white, I'm gonna say it again, you know how flat, white, and unappealing your broadcast would be? I'm just being real. What you should have did was hired an Ak and Barak and invited them to your boardroom. You didn't do that. I told you guys in September this day would come. I told you guys this day in September this day would come. And it took them a year to come up with an annual pass. That would have been option number one. $50, $69 one-time fee if it's $10 a month, right? They don't think like me. Maybe I'm too smart for my own good. I'm patting myself on the back, yeah, because I told you this day was coming. All my UK fans are mad, upset. Eddie Hearn, next time you do interviews, say my name. Stop talking around me. Eddie Hearn, say my name. Barbershop conversation. Say it loud, say it proud. I told you this day was coming in my 2001 Honda Civic. I told you this day was coming. I told you. So I'm going to say this now. I'm going to say all my young fighters who want consulting, it's free. But when you get to the money, we're going to sign the contract. It's going to be free till you get your first six-figure paycheck. When you get your six-figure paycheck, you got to pay me. I'm going to tell you how to work the game. If you on your way like a Jared Ennis, you need to consult with me. I'm being real. I don't need your money. Remember, the people you hire, those Jewish men, they can't eat without your services. I can eat without your services. That's a big difference. That's a huge difference. Anyways, man, barbershop conversations. And any other fighter like Jared Ennis. All these young fighters, 17-0, 19-0, ranked 5 or 8 in their respective sanctioning bodies, IBO, WBA, NABF. Hit my DM. I guarantee I can help you. Guaranteed I can put you in the direction of help. I'm just being real. Eddie Hearn, say my name. John Skipper, say my name. John Skipper, you have a southern accent and it took you 9 months to talk to the American people? I'm going to say this again. John Skipper, you have a southern accent and it took you till last 2 weeks ago to start talking to the American public? You used a UK man to come over to America? You don't know who Paul Revere is? Your voice sounds much more familiar, whether it's slavery or whether it's post-Reconstruction or whether it's post-Emancipation Proclamation. You should have used your voice and your presence and your power. We should have known 9 months ago that you built ESPN. Imagine this. You know how they do movies like from the director of Training Day, Equalizer 1, Equalizer 2, Antoine Fuqua. Imagine it said John Skipper, the man who helped build ESPN, the man who sealed the deal on the NCAA 2A contract for the playoffs, the man who helped negotiate the deal for the NBA coming to ESPN, the man who negotiated Monday Night Football to leave ABC and come to ESPN. John Skipper now has a new network. It's called DAZN and it's coming to America July 1st, 2019. That should have been your PR move, but you failed. You failed. Now you're about to rob the American public for $10 more a month for some mediocre fights. You only got 2 good fights coming. We don't want to see Triple G Canelo. That's been overcooked. We don't want to see it. You know, those fights had no drama. We now know Canelo's the better fighter. We don't want to see it. It has no side stories. Neither one of them speak English. I'm too smart. I'm giving away too much. Barbershop conversations, man. Shout out to G that sent it to me. Shout out to Vince that sent it to me. I appreciate you guys. I love y'all. DMV, 7 a.m. Lincoln Steps. And then we'll go over to the Florida Grill. I'll pay for half the breakfast, okay? No matter how many people show up. 50 people show up, I'll pay for half the breakfast. 10 people show up, I'll pay for half the breakfast. 5 people show up, I'll pay for the entire breakfast. So anyways, man, barbershop conversations, man. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. 7 a.m., Lincoln Steps. We'll do our run. The mall is 1.9 miles to completion. So we can do that once. We can do it twice. And we'll have a great time. And we'll fellowship at the grill. I don't have to be at the weigh-in till about 2:30, 3 o'clock. I'll check in around noon, so it gives us something to do. I'll make sure I'll try and sleep on the plane, and we'll get in. So anyways, man, barbershop conversations. I appreciate you guys. Eddie Hearn, say my name, motherfucker. Say my name. Eddie Hearn, you should have hired me as a consultant. You should have paid me $250,000 as a consultant. I would have hooked you up. I know how to get Adrian Broner. You don't. I know how to get Jamel Charlo. You don't. I know how to get Deontay Wilder. You don't. You shouldn't have offered him money. You shouldn't have offered Deontay Wilder money. I'll tell you guys about that in the next video sometime in the near future. Barbershop Conversations, man. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. I'll holla. Peace.